Bardo Thodol, the mysterious book that explains what happens after we die. What really happens after your final breath? Does your soul vanish into nothingness? Or do you awaken into a dimension? Beyond time, beyond space, beyond comprehension. Welcome, wandering soul, to the edge of existence, where ancient wisdom dares to answer the ultimate question: what happens when we die? Today, we journey into one of the most mysterious and profound spiritual texts ever written, a sacred Tibetan manuscript whispered over the dead. For centuries, the Bardo Thodol, known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But this is not just a book. It is a map through death itself, a spiritual guidebook to what lies beyond the veil. Chapter 1, The Sacred Origins. Our journey begins in the rugged mountains of 8th century Tibet, where mysticism and mortality danced as one. Here emerged Padmasambhava, a master so enigmatic. Many say he wasn't just a man, but a miracle in human form. He was known as Guru Rinpoche, the precious master, a yogi, a magician, a spiritual warrior who bridged heaven and earth. It was he who brought Buddhism to Tibet. But more than that, he gave the world a doorway. Through death he authored the Bardo Thodol, not for scholars, but for souls, for those standing at the threshold, for those who have died and those who fear dying. He believed that, even after death, the soul has one final chance for liberation, and so he gave us this guide, a compass, to help the lost find the light. Chapter 2, The Bardo, the Mystic Middle. In Tibetan, Bardo means between. It's the mysterious interval between death and rebirth. According to the Bardo Thodol, when we die, our consciousness doesn't just flicker out. It enters a series of states, each filled with potential or peril. These are not places, but dimensions of awareness, and navigating them correctly could mean freedom from the endless wheel of rebirth. There are 3 main bardos every soul must pass through. 1, the Chikai Bardo, the moment of death. This is the first portal. The body fades, the senses dissolve. Time unravels, and then something happens. An immense blinding pure light appears. The clear light of reality it is. The true nature of the mind, without ego, without fear, without form. It is enlightenment itself. If the soul recognizes this light, not as something external, but as its own divine essence, it can attain instant liberation. No more rebirth, no more suffering. Eternal peace, but few recognize it. Most are overwhelmed. The ego panics. The soul clings to memory, identity, the illusion of self, and so the opportunity vanishes and the soul descends into the next state. 2, the chestnut Bardo, the Bardo of visions here. The soul enters a dreamlike realm, where all inner thoughts become outer realities. What you see is what you are. If you were full of love and wisdom, you may encounter peaceful deities, radiant and serene. But if you lived in fear, anger, or greed, you may be chased by wrathful spirits, grotesque and terrifying. Yet none of these beings are truly external. They are projections of the mind. As Carl Jung once said, gods and demons are nothing but the contents of the human psyche. In the chestnut Bardo, everything you've suppressed, desired, or feared is laid bare. And unless you recognize them as illusions, you are at their mercy. But here lies the paradox. If you see through the fantasy of these visions, even the terrifying ones, you can still reach liberation. This is the second chance. Few succeed, but those who do awaken. Those who don't pass into the final Bardo 3, the Sidpa Bardo, the Bardo of rebirth. This is where the soul is drawn back into the world. Karma begins its pull. Visions of potential future lives flash before you. The desire for identity, sensation, and existence awakens again. You may see two beings making love, symbolizing your future parents. Your attachment to desire pulls you in. And just like that, you are reborn into a new form. Human, animal, God, ghost. It depends on your karmic patterns and mental clarity. This is how the cycle of samsara continues. Birth, death, rebirth, over and over, unless you awaken. Chapter 3. The Spiritual Purpose. So why does this matter to the living? Because the Bardo Thodol is not just a death manual, it's a mirror to how we live right now. Each day we are dying and being reborn. Each moment is a bardo, a space between what was and what will be. By studying this sacred text, by preparing the mind for its final test, we become more aware, more present, more free. We learn not to run from death, but to meet it like a wise traveler who knows the road ahead, and in doing so, we change the very way we live. Conclusion, the final question. So, dear soul, ask yourself, when your final breath comes, will you cling to the shadows of identity? Or will you recognize the light and finally be free? The Tibetan masters say, it's never too late to awaken. Even at the very edge of death, there is still hope. The Bardo Thodol is not just a book, it is a beacon for the soul, a cosmic whisper that says, you are more than this life. You are the light itself. And when the time comes to walk that final path, may you walk it, not with fear, but with understanding. Because now you know the map, and when the light comes, will you recognize it?